When the Indiana Fever sits down and evaluates this roster after the playoffs are over, they need to move on from Nalyssa Smith. I think she's been very inconsistent this season. There are times she's able to score the basketball with ease. There are other times she's forcing it out there. She's sloppy. She can't handle Caitlin Clark's passes. And also, when she does handle her passes, she's not finishing shots at the rim. It's just an up and down roller coaster with Nalyssa Smith. I know she got more minutes last year, and her minutes are down this season. Her scoring is down as well. She also doesn't shoot the free throw really well. And I think they need to take her out of the starting lineup because when she's out there in late game situations, she's not a plus for the Fever. I think what they need to do is when you get to the playoffs, start Fag Bentley because I think she's a better defender. She has more of an impact out there. She's a great rim protector. She's going to get you a ton of rebounds. She's going to block some shots or challenge shots at the rim. That bodes well for the Fever because they don't have a lot of defenders on this team where they can lock somebody down and make things hard. I think if you put her next to Lexi Hall, you have more length out there. You let Mitchell, Boston, and Clark carry that offense. And you let Fag Bentley and Hall be your lockdown defenders. Also, what do you have to lose here? You've already exceeded expectations. You might as well experiment with the rotation some more in the playoffs. You already know you need to upgrade this roster. So if I'm going out there against the Connecticut Sun, I'm playing Fag Bentley more. I'm playing Dante some more minutes because I don't want a person out there who's inconsistent, who is hot and cold. You don't know what you're going to get out of Nalyssa Smith from each game. And just look at the numbers from Nalyssa Smith this season. Going back to July 2nd, 5 points on 20% shooting, 12, 11, 11, 14, 11, 13. Okay, she's on a roll, 13. But then what happens? 3 points, 7 rebounds, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 7 points, 6 rebounds. Got 27 minutes that night. 10 points, 14. She was on a roll. Then goes back down to 2 points and 7 rebounds, 6 points and 3 rebounds, 9 points and 6 rebounds. So there's a lot of inconsistencies with her performances, game in and game out. And again, some of this is coaching, but it's also the player. She's just not a good fit next to Caitlin Clark, Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. I think they need to move on from her because you see the shooting percentages, they're up and then down. And again, I think she just needs to find a new team because this isn't working out for the Fever or Nalyssa Smith. I think if you can bring in a wing who can provide depth behind Lexi Hall or a backup point guard who can orchestrate the offense, and maybe that helps out someone like Erica Wheeler, who's a scoring guard. So if you put a backup next to her, maybe she'll play better off the ball. I don't know. I'm just speculating there. But it's obvious at this point, the Fever need to make a move this offseason. Like, that's really obvious. And I think if they can bring in another backup point guard or a slashing forward to give Lexi Hall a break and have some more versatility around the perimeter to make it tougher on opponents when they're driving to the basket, that would bode well for the Fever. Nalyssa Smith just needs a new team, and I think the Fever need to realize that. Take your L. I know they drafted her as a second pick in the first round in 2022, but they got to figure something out because her numbers have been down, and I think they got to just consider, okay, we got some value here from Nalyssa Smith, or maybe you bring her back next season and you let her have her good string of games like you see here, 10, 14, 14, and 13 points. She gets her consistently going. You're like, okay, look how she's been playing the past 10 games, and then trade her because her value will be up. That's what the Fever need to figure out here. Another thing I want to touch on is her social media responses lately. It hasn't been good after the game against the Wings. Her girlfriend, DJ Carrington, came out and said, see what happens when my girl gets some touches. And then Smith responds with a tweet she deleted. Fun while it lasted, babes. And it has you wondering, why would you even post that in the first place? You're supposed to get ready for the playoffs. Now, I don't think this is going to distract the Fever at all. I think Caitlin Clark wants to shine in the playoffs. I think Kelsey Mitchell has a lot to prove. Aaliyah Boston will be there as well. So I think they're going to be ready for the first round matchup against the Sun. But to respond in that manner isn't a good look because at the end of the day, you got to help the team out. You're going to be the 6th seed. You're going to be playing this Connecticut Sun team in the playoffs. And to have that response is like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. Just keep it professional. Just because your minutes are down and some other times you're getting touches doesn't mean you respond in that manner. Of course, you see fans upset with her. And again, she took a total of 7 shots on Sunday. It's a bit less than her average at 8. She took 12.7 shots per game last season. The reason why it's down because you have a player in Caitlin Clark, and also Kelsey Mitchell has been stepping up her game. And she's also scoring the basketball. Nalyssa Smith again. She had 14 points one game. She goes back down to 5. She's inconsistent. That might be a combination of coaching, just her fit on this team isn't good. And that type of attitude you don't want around for next season. I think the Fever really should consider moving off of Nalyssa Smith. And what I would do is wait until she has that string of really good games where she's scoring 14, 15 points a night, getting you 8 or 9 rebounds in a string of 6, 7 straight games. Then you trade her when her value is up. That's what I would do if I'm the Fever. Because again, she's going to be a free agent in 2026. So don't let her walk for nothing. That's not a good idea. I would just move on, get something of value, maybe some draft picks or another role player that will make the roster better. An athletic wing would be a great idea. I think that would be a perfect move for the Fever. Don't do nothing at the same time. Because again, I know you drafted her as a second pick in the first round in 2022. However, it's not working out. And sometimes when you draft a player and you have a generational talent, you're trying to build something here. And there are pieces you just got to move off from because it's not the right fit. Just looking at these numbers for Nalyssa Smith, the Fever have a plus 6.8 net rating when she's not on the basketball court. And then when it comes to offense, it goes from 105.3 to 100.9 when she's in the game. The defense goes from 109.9 to 98.6 defensive rating when she's off the court. She's played almost 92% of her minutes with Caitlin Clark. So again, she's had her opportunities. And the offensive rating by 4.4 decreases the defensive rating by 11.3 for a net difference of minus 15.8. That's not good. Again, Fag Bentley, I just said it, has plus 11.7 impact on net rating. Even though her stats are a little inflated because she plays so few minutes with Smith, who drags everyone else's stats down. I think if they take Fag Bentley and put her next to Leah Boston, Mitchell Clark, and Hall for the playoffs, that would be a really good lineup. I think Smith should be on the bench. Give her 15 minutes. If she doesn't like that, change. Oh, well, you just got to look at the roster and go, we're going to the playoffs. We got to put the best roster out there because we're trying to win some games and make some noise in the playoffs. This is a great opportunity for Chrissy Sides to send a strong message to the team by saying that, you know what, if you want to complain about your role and your minutes because you're not consistent enough, well, guess what? You're going to get less minutes in the playoffs. You're now out of the starting rotation. If Chrissy Sides makes that move, you communicate a message of, we are trying to build a championship contender team. We're not there yet, but we want to build the right habits because if we're going to be on the level of the Aces, we got to be locked in. We got to be focused. And if you're not trying to help us accomplish that goal, well, get out of the way. That's going to help you earn trust from the fans, help you earn trust from your top players. And it also shows that we are serious about becoming a championship contender one day. And if you don't want to be a part of that culture, well, just move on. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. What do you guys think about the Fever moving on from Nalyssa Smith this offseason? Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.